There we go.
There we go.
Okay. Are we good to go, people?
Yeah, we sure are.
All right. Hi there. Behold, this is the world premiere of this chess set. This is something that I've been working on with the help of many contributors since New Year's. Basically, it was between Christmas and New Year's that I conceived and started this project. And this is finally, we are here. We're actually waiting for the very last piece. There's a turtle coming from Sweden from Torbjorn Mayhem. He's got a huge YouTube channel, so we're pretty pumped to have him as a contributor. He came in at the 11th hour, and this is it. So I guess we'll just talk a little bit about it. I started out when I first decided to do this. The first piece I did was Eddie from Iron Maiden. Just an idea I had. I wanted to see how sculptural I could get to make a recognizable visage in steel. And I just thought the Eddie character is very iconic as far as a heavy metal icon, and just something that's universally recognizable. I think most people, even if they're not a metal fan, are gonna recognize that that icon. It's been around for the last 40 years on t-shirts everywhere. So that's what I started out with. Realized as I got into that one was a pretty intense one. That one took me probably about 15 hours to do. And I realized if I was going to do all 16 of the royals here, I was going to have to pull things back a little bit. So there's, as I got further into the process, I started trying to do some simpler things and realizing maybe I bit off more than I could chew. But we just kind of pounded through, and eventually we got to this point here, and we are finished. So started out with this one. Basically, the whole idea behind this was with my YouTube channel, I had quite a bit of good feedback on my skull forging video, and I'm just showing how to forge a skull, which is something I've been doing for 30 some years, and gotten fairly good at it because I've done so many of them. And then I've done other forged sculpture over the years, but never really spent a lot of time trying to develop it. And it's always something that was in the back of my head. And I want to try this. I want to try this. I never get around to it. I've got this laundry list of things that I want to make, and everything that I make inspires 5 others. So the older I get, the longer the list gets, and I realize at some point I'm going to die, and it's going to be this colossal list. So I'm trying to remedy that and get through as many of the things as I can, and I'm using my YouTube channel as a way for me to kind of do the shit that I just want to do, that I want to do just because. So I'm exploring different things like that. Once we got onto this, this really started when last year I actually made my Cthulhu piece here. And that was just a video I did, and I just wanted to explore the Cthulhu character, which again, H.P. Lovecraft, fairly famous icon, something that I thought I would experiment with. I like octopuses, octopi, or whatever. And thought it would be an interesting one. After I had made this, it was like, what do I do with this? And then one day it was just jutting out from behind my forge where I stick things like this that I don't know what to do with. And I thought, that'd make kind of an interesting chess piece. So that didn't really start it there, but that was kind of the genesis for thinking, what am I going to do with these sculptural pieces? And as I started developing the channel, I thought I want to do more sculptural things. Then all of a sudden I had this epiphany. It was between Christmas and New Year's, and it was like, yes, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a chess set. So at that point, I was talking with Gary Houston, who has the channel. He's an English smith, blacksmith and farrier. And I just seen that he did a video, and he did his little snail, which he had done, something that he's done over the years a few times. And this is a fairly common thing in blacksmithing. I'm sure you've probably all seen variations of the snail here. So anyway, I got talking with him and asked if he would cooperate with me on this project, and he said, no way, that's way too much, but he would contribute a pawn. And that's where I got the idea that perhaps what I should do is reach out to my viewers and get people to contribute pawns. So I started after he made this snail, which we asked him to do it fairly small, thinking that our chessboard was going to be small, much smaller at that point in time. So he made this tiny little snail, and as it turns out, every piece I made kept growing. So by the time I got around to making the chessboard, it was colossal. And this little snail is quite tiny, but I think it's kind of cool. It's because he scales down, you know, as a snail should look in comparison to some of the rest of the critters.
It's awesome. It's a beautiful set. And the
Thank
ones
you.
that are darkened, how did you achieve that look on them?
Okay, well, as I got into it, I realized, you know, I'm going to make my teams here. So what I did, you can see there's team copper over here. And basically, if I didn't make it out of something with copper, as like Eddie's Pope hat here, I use actual copper, but I've got this copper paste, metallic paste. So basically, just recently near the end there, I did copper paste on. I just arbitrarily picked a bunch of them that I, you know, became team copper. And then the rest over here are just steel. So basically, they're just off the forge and then buff them up and spray down with a clear lacquer, a matte lacquer, and then so I think they play out really nice. I like the tones. And then with the chessboard, we decided we want a little bit of contrast, but in the same theme. So I went with brass and with the zinc, like pure zinc sheet, both of which were patinaed and then assembled on here with copper rivets. So I like, there's contrast, but they're all in that rustic metallic sort of look. And I think that the chessboard itself has a very steampunk sort of effect to it. And I think that's very cool. So.
You mentioned H.P. Lovecraft for some of your inspiration for the Cthulhu. Are you a pretty big fan of that style of literature, or is there any other?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I was, as a teenager, you know, I was reading fantasy novels, H.P. Lovecraft, Elric of Melniboné, Conan, you know, Kane, all that stuff. So I was reading the stuff from the 60s and 70s, that heroic fantasy. And then, of course, I'm a metalhead, like that's right from the word go. So that has been an inspiration for me all through. Like I'm all about that sort of stuff, very, I guess, male-driven testosterone type stuff. But that is where my inspiration comes from, and that's really what got me into blacksmithing. I was a teenage guy. I was 14 years old. My dad was saying, you know, what are you going to do with your life? He was raised on a farm. My older brother, he was going to be a farmer right from the word go. My dad couldn't figure out what to do with me. And, you know, I just wanted to make stuff. And then I was into armor and weapons. And it's like, that's what I want to do, is make that. Then when I figured out that blacksmiths, that they were the guys that made that, I was like, fuck, that's what I want to do. So that's right from that age, basically age 14, age 15, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. And I started trying to figure out my path to get there. And that's starved for many years to make it happen. And here I am today.
Your dad was very supportive of you with the whole process, or was he against it? How did that work out?
So, sorry, I'm not quite hearing you. Say that again, please.
Was your dad fairly supportive of the whole blacksmithing?
No, not initially. He just didn't get it. I was always artistic, creative. I was absolutely the black sheep. I had three brothers, so there was four of us. I was complete misfit, and my parents just kind of scratched their head. They just didn't get me to understand what I was doing. It wasn't until like a couple of years in, they realized I was serious, and they started seeing the results that I was getting. Then they became very supportive and have been ever since. But it was, you know, as a teenager, I was completely out there on my own, and I really didn't have any friends that really got what I did. And it was, you know, I was just like, I figured I was the only person like this. And it wasn't until I got in my later teens, I got out of high school and stuff like that, and then started exploring different subcultures that, yeah, there's some crazy freaks out there like myself. And, you know, and so I went out to find these people, and I brought that culture in, and just kind of went from there.
Welcome, brother. Welcome, brother.
There's a tribe definitely out there, and I found I never actually did leave my hometown. I'm still like 5 miles from where I was born. I always expected to leave because I thought this place was so dull, and it was just like I did not want to be here. But I set down roots very quickly as far as when I started my business. Blacksmithing is not the most portable thing. Everything is so damn heavy. So it's just that kind of rooted me. I also got married very early, had kids very young, and so everything kind of rooted me down there. So I built my business where I was, and kind of brought the world into me. So I've got people from all over the world come to my little village in Floridale. Look on the map; it's a tiny place, and but it's just I've had just a great career. Like I've been at this for more than 33 years. I'm 51 now. I started when I was 17. So I've been at it for a long time.
I'm surprised you're 51. You look like you're 40. You age well.
Oh, how flattering. The age is on the inside. Inside, I'm all shriveled and I'll beat up.
And groaning, right? Yeah. Off-topic question: what's your favorite White Zombie album?
I would say probably Sexorcista. I think that's the one. I don't know. The first two were basically it for me. After that, Shane became Rob Zombie then, and then he had some great albums as well, but it is a totally different thing.
Did you know they had albums before that?
Yeah, I did. I found that when they were still trying to find their sound, very garagey.
Yeah.
Yeah, not quite the White Zombie that I was used to, but interesting.
Yeah, very cool. That's White Zombie is actually one of my favorite bands as well. So
yeah, cool.
Awesome.
Okay, any other questions? Do you want to know anything about any of these pieces here? Is anything that jumps out at you guys?
Well, I could just see the amount of man hours in that thing. It's incredible.
I haven't done the math on it, but I was trying to think, the question's going to come up, what's the price tag on something like this? And it's like, my first instinct would be like 30 grand. I don't even know how many hours are actually in it, but a long time, well over a month, maybe 2 months of man hours to put all this together. And it's this is the kind of thing that's a white elephant. It's like, nobody's going to buy this. Or I shouldn't say that. Somebody might, but I've worked for the very rich for many years, and there's no such thing. People say price is no object, and I've had customers say that to me until I actually come back with a price.
Yeah.
And then price is an object. It always is. And there are certain things that there's a perceived value, and it would be hard to get to sell this as an item. And unless someone specifically came to you and they said, okay, here's 50 grand, I want you to develop something crazy. But this is the kind of thing that you just kind of get into, and it just evolves and happens. Had I known when I got into it, probably wouldn't have followed through.
Do you have any ideas about how you will sell it, or what the plan?
The intention's not really to sell it. What I would like to see for this is to get it into galleries, just straight up art galleries, but also things like ManIron, locally here in Canada.
Yeah.
In next ManIron, I would certainly have it exhibited there where at least blacksmiths can come in and they would get it and be interested in it.
Awesome.
But I think it would also be the kind of thing that you put this in, an art gallery in a fairly major city. And it might just be something that people go, oh, and and get them thinking about blacksmithing or something like that. So I think that's what I see the future of this thing is that for the next 30 years, might be popping around and ending up in various installments for galleries and things like that.
I love the idea.
That belongs in an art gallery or a museum for sure.
Yeah.
That's gorgeous.
I just want to point out, or sure, Justin, if you've probably been watching this video.
There it is.
There it is. This was early in the process in one of the first ponds that we got, and when this arrived, I just freaking loved it. It's got personality. You did a really good job on this one. And I ended up doing the copper paste, and hopefully that doesn't offend you, but I'm not going to lose sleep over it, even if it does offend you. Thanks for doing that. I loved your video. I thought it was great. And I liked at the end where you had the little, where he's dancing around on the chessboard with the 70s porn music. I thought that was really
How does this copper paste work? What is this? Is it?
It's some metallic paste. It's actually something for Italian, like stucco. The word is escaping me now. Not fresco, but it's something that they use. These metallic pastes that they use on stucco for creating, just different tones and things like that. And I stumbled across this company years ago and started getting their product. And basically, this is just something that you wipe on and then kind of wipe off, just leaving highlights on. And it's really nice. I know there's on the marketplace, you go looking, there's all kinds of different ones that you can get. But it's really handy for doing something. I will do oil rub bronze things where I use copper and a bronze one, and then actually tone it with a stove black and then polish that out. So you get a multi-layered tone. So you've got like 5 different tones that I have coming through that. And it makes really nice, rich finish. So if you're a real hardcore purist blacksmith, they tend to grit their teeth at that sort of thing. But it really works. And a lot of the interior stuff I do, I end up doing that sort of finish on. It really kind of pops out the hammer texture on pieces.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have any videos on how you do that process at all, or is there any videos online that you've done that show that process? Oh, we lost audio here.
Yeah. Oh.
Sorry, we lost the audio. Anymore.
Oh. All right, Lando, maybe this is the way we finish.
Well,
let's just give a big thanks to Thak Ironworks.
Is it Rob, right?
What's that? Rob?
Rob at Thak?
I'm actually not sure. Let's call it, dude. Oh, wow. That's beautiful. Maybe we don't want to call it.
Close up on that a little bit. That's awesome. Right up my alley right there.
Yeah.
That's something that I want to try doing is totem pole.
Gorgeous. Oh, the spider. Oh.
Yeah. It's okay.
Crazy.
Heck yeah.
What?
Okay, so how many people are still watching? We've only got 20 people online with us now. We probably unleash the
his second feed.
Oh, that is cool.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh. Reverb? Okay.
Yeah,
I got reverb there. I was muted there for a moment.
There we go. Did I
lost it again?
Yeah.
No stress about it. We're getting well over the time limit that we had set aside for this anyway. So.
Rob, thank you very much for coming in and showing this this beautiful chess set. It's super badass, even though I say it's beautiful. And we're really lucky that we had you come in for this day and to kind of finish it all off too. It's a great way to end it.
Thank you very much.
So I'm going to put Lyndon back under the spotlight. And thanks again.
Me?
Yeah, I'm going to join you though.
No one wants to see my ugly mug.
Whew, my eyes are feeling a little buggy from looking at the screen all day.
Oh, yeah. Is anybody else exhausted? I didn't think this was going to be as tiring as it was. You're just sitting here all day, and I'm freaking like, now I got to swing the hammer all night.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Well, who else is looking forward to it? Who's going to join us in this spike
Steve's
competition?
been doing it all day long. I've seen
Yeah.
him welding back there, hammering out an eye out of a hammerhead, and just working it.
Is that what he was doing? Is punching out the eye?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
So let's reveal some of the details on the contest.
So, details on the contest. Here we go, people.
All right, I'm going to screen share.
Start now, and the first category is the spike knife. You have one submission that you can make per category. Only one person can only win one time. So you can't win in all three categories, or all four categories actually, because there is actually prizes just for submitting. There's a chance that you're gonna win something just for submitting. It does. You could submit a picture of a spike that you didn't do anything, and you might, well, no, I'm not going to allow that. You have to do something to the spike, change it, shape it a little bit, somehow twist it, whatever, I don't care. But you got to submit something to win. There's prizes for that. On top of the submission prizes, the spike knife, there's some guidelines to follow. In order to actually win something, you actually have to be a member of the Manitoba Blacksmith Guild. That doesn't mean just a member of our Facebook page. That means an actual enrolled member with the Manitoba Blacksmith Guild. Go online, find our membership form on either manitobablacksmith.ca or on our Facebook page under the file section. Download the file, fill it out, email it to us. $35 for the year. Anybody who had a membership from last year, we're rolling it over for now because of COVID messing everything up for the last year pretty much. So we've got that going on. We've got Sam Towns Bladesmiths from Australia is going to be doing the judging for the knives. So everything has to be submitted by 6 o'clock. We're going to wrap everything up and submit it to Sam to do the judging. We're hoping that we can get that all finished up and squared up within a couple of days, whatever. Hopefully not too long. We'll try to get it out at ASAP for you guys. On top of the knife competition, we're doing a single spike sculpture competition as well. That means you can make a steak flipper, a dude or something, a spoon, a hair pick, or a fire poker, or a butt poker, whatever you want to do. Make something out of one spike. It has to be something like that's that thing where submit something and you could win still. It doesn't have to be that awesome. Don't feel like you're not good enough, because you are good enough. So submit something. Join this, make it awesome. Last and not least, we've got the multi-spike sculpture. You can use as many spikes as you want to. And yes, that's kind of that. Oh, with the knife, you are limited to a single spike, but you can add material. Is that correct, Justin?
No, it's just a real spike challenge.
Just real spike? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought for some reason we said that you could add in a hardened edge to it if you wanted to, or something like that, forge welded material. But no, single spike.
Single spike.
No added material, spike only, make a knife. This is where people are probably gonna try to put in a little bit more effort than I'm guessing they will into the sculpture side of it. But I really want to see some effort put into the sculpture side. I want to see something cool, you guys. I know the majority of you guys are into this because you want to make knives, but some sculpture stuff, man. And let's bring back the root of blacksmithing here and make some cool artistic stuff. Shit, make a tool if you want to out of rail spike. Although rail spike material is a little bit not what I would make a tool out of, but whatever.
Cool. Lyndon, let me go over the judging criteria.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so we've got the 3 categories: knife, single spike sculpture, and multi-spike sculpture. They're in the green here, and you can refer to the rules, but it's pretty basic. Other than wanting submissions need to be done by 6 p.m. If you're late, you're out. And
That's tomorrow, 6 p.m. tomorrow.
6 p.m. tomorrow, yeah, of course. And then we're looking for pictures of your starting material, some pictures of yourself working your material, and then your finished pictures. The finished pictures will go to the judges, not all the work pictures, but just the finished pictures. Because if you look in the judging criteria, from most important down to the least important, we've got proportions and details. We're talking about the dimensions, the angles, the flow that you hammer into these pieces, or grind or file or whatever you choose, and the layout of your artwork. Creativity. So if it's just the same stuff we've seen all over the place, you're not pushing yourself hard enough. Try to expand what is out there. We want to see some cool, rad stuff. And finish, we want some nice finish on the pieces. So like Thak Ironworks just presented, there are some interesting products that you can lay on top of your pieces to get them nice. And Yako also said the same thing about finishing your work and having it nice and pleasant looking. And then
patinas, people, patinas.
patina. And then presentation, a nice photo of that work of art that you've done. Submit that by 6 p.m. tomorrow night, and then we'll organize all the submissions and send them off to our judges. Thank you, Cindy and Tammy from Center for Crafts here in Winnipeg. And then the prizes. So we've got a prize for the spike knife, which is the Thompson metal package, and the VSM belts from Pritchell and Hardy. The single spike sculpture, oops, sorry guys, is getting a package from 1090 Powder from Pritchell and Hardy, and the belts as well from Pritchell and Hardy. The multi-spike sculpture gets the Thompson metal package and a hat from Pritchell and Hardy. And then we're going to do 3 random draws because everyone's submitting and we want anyone to have a chance to win something. So we're going to do 3 separate draws for Thompson metal package and the 1080 powder and a hat as well. So submit, submit, submit. Your time starts now. Run to your shops, get your forges running, and get hammering. Any last words, Lyndon?
Yon said, sorry guys, I gotta go. Great job on your presentation. I'm guessing he had to run to the shop because
he's running to the shop.
Start on this, yeah.
I get it. I want to run out there too.
I'm not running anywhere. I'm already here.
You're there.
Yeah, I was gonna fire up the forge like an hour ago, and then I was like, that's probably kind of rude to have the forge blaring in the background here. Brad's asking if we can share a link to the membership here. I don't know if he's wanting us to share it on the chat or.
I'm gonna post the rules on the Facebook page. I'll do a screenshot and post it there. But thanks to everyone for checking in. Some of you have been here all day long, which is just fantastic. And
Cindy, you've had me pumped all day watching your excitement.
Corey's been there all day long too. Steve's been in there most of the day too. Just awesome to see everyone just stoked on this. So thanks, Lyndon, for helping out and asking awesome questions.
Oh, by the way, everybody.
and we're here for one more minute. Let's go, Lyndon. I want to go hammer.
T-shirts. These are
awesome.
We're going to be handing these out, sending these out to all of our presenters. So I'm going to have to be doing a little bit of work on the side here to get some addresses and whatnot from you guys. Cindy, there's one here for you. Thank you very much for helping us out. No, you're not buying it. Yeah, if you want one, email me, because I got some that I'll have set aside for the people that want one. And if I don't have enough set aside, then I'll order some more. But these are going to be awesome shirts. These are going to be the only Manitoba blacksmithing shirts that you'll see out there. So get one while you can before next year's event, because then there'll be more Manitoba blacksmithing shirts out on the market then. Get the first one ever.
All right, this is ManIron 2020 virtual edition signing off.
Thank you, everybody. I love you all.